Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Wolves Den. We got the members in and we got champion Joshua. Man, how are you feeling? Dad, Mike, how you feeling, Joshua?
I'm feeling amazing.
You feel? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm feeling amazing. We've put so much effort into this season, so feels amazing to come out on top.
Yeah. And you got to say how you felt on the last day as well, by the way.
That's what I was just about to ask you, man. How did he feel on that last day? Probably the last 5 laps. Like, what were you going through, like, mentally?
Well, so I was calmer than I think I would have been in a few years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was just thinking, keep on putting the laps in, where I'm in a good position.
Okay.
I don't need to make overtakes. I don't need to make ridiculous moves. Just stay calm and stay clean.
Yeah. Did you? I think you played it safe though, right?
I did. Yeah, I did play it quite safe.
Yeah.
So why? Let me ask you, why I could say why I would play it safe if that was going to be the case. I'm not sure I would because my character, but why did you play it safe? What gave you the notion or the comfort to say that I can play it safe right now?
Well, in the race before that, I had a bit of an incident and went wide and lost one position, which put me 7th.
Okay.
So I just kind of didn't want the same thing to happen and lose even more places and potentially lose the championship with that. So I was thinking play more safe and if all goes well, we will win.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, man. 7 seems like a number for you. Like what round was up to round 12, right?
Yeah.
Round 12, you do not 7 across the board?
Yeah.
What did you? Because we need in order to win. What did you have to come in round 12? You had to.
I had to finish 10th or better.
Or better. Okay.
But I had to finish 10th if the other guy would win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, and in the end he didn't win. So
that made it better.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, I'm going to say this in front of you now. That is the worst you have ever driven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Really?
The worst.
What was going on with that, man? Break that down. Why the worst you driven in probably the most critical moment?
I think it's because of the nerves. I was very nervous.
Okay. You think you weren't very nervous. So
Yeah.
were you nervous? What were you nervous about? Like explain what you were nervous about.
I was more nervous about making mistakes and then losing.
Okay.
So because we had a championship last year where I lost it in the last moments. So I really needed to win.
Yeah. Do you think it's a mental thing, right? Because the last championship we lost it on the last round as well, didn't we?
Yeah,
the last round.
Damn,
that sucks. That sucks to be so close.
Yeah.
That sucks to be so close. So what? Okay, so we're in the mini max, right? Mini max 2022.
Yeah.
Okay, now you had 1,164 points. I think you beat second by 6 points.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that's very close.
Yeah.
Like that is very, very close. Now, was this same competitor that close to you last season, or was this the competitor that won last season?
The guy I was racing against, I've never raced him before until this season. Me or him have never done this championship before, so it's a new championship for us.
What were you in before Minimax?
I was in Honda Cadet, and I only raced at Rye House, Shannington, and Wilton Mill. So I wasn't going around.
You didn't do the Super One Championship.
No, I didn't do Super One. I didn't do the British Championship either. So
yeah.
Okay. All right. So is looking at the board, it seems like you went hot round 1, round 2, and then round 5, round 6. What was the difference in these rounds? Because it almost pretty much because the second place competitor went hot the last few rounds.
Yeah, the last few.
All right. So you really front loaded, but what was the difference? Probably in the circus. What was the difference in this atmosphere where you went hot in these particular rounds so much?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I don't think it's more practice, because the final few rounds we had to practice, and I was racing more than we were for the other tracks, I guess.
Okay.
So I think earlier on in the season there wasn't any championship pressure at all, and it was you can still win it even if you have a bad weekend. Like the first round, like the person who finished second, he didn't have a good first few rounds, but throughout the season he brought it back together and was getting more consistent points. So I think.
But you just said something there I want to jump on. You said pressure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because in the first rounds you were just driving freely, right?
Yeah.
And so the typical, that was Joshua on the track. You know, he saw a space, he took it. In the last few rounds, you saw a space, and I could see you think about it, and then you would pull back, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so it was what we've got to learn is how to deal with pressure now.
Yeah.
Because like rounds 8, 9, you did 2 podiums in his final 10, but then in rounds 8, 9, rounds 11 and 12 were like, even round 7 is kind of where you started seeming like things were a bit different. And I was kind of wondering like what happened to that consistency. And it's okay. Pressure happened. Like I just told my daughter like the other night, she just got a green belt. She's about to get into sparring. So I'm working with her on understanding the dynamics of getting hit, but responding and not flighting. Right. And, you know, for a moment she drops a tear and I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, I don't know if I'm going to be ready for this, but you're never ready until you're ready. So you, through experience, I have no doubt you'll understand how to deal with that pressure and how to deal with those feelings that you're experiencing. Nobody can really, we can all give you an examples how we dealt with it, how your dad dealt with it, how your mom deals with it, but all those are just examples to you to kind of sample to find out how Joshua was going to deal with it. And the sooner you deal with that, then you'll be comfortable. But I definitely, like, I know me, maybe it might be Texas in me, it might be the US in me. I'm just going to go for it regardless. And then it sucks at the end, you know, you roll those dice and it don't happen for you. But you definitely, I always tell people sometimes the approach. Like, if you know you can get it in the bag without risking the risk management, then that is definitely another attribute. And if you keep that attribute and you can kind of balance it, then you're doing good for yourself.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, we thought he had this in the bag because like you said, the first rounds were tracks we had never been to before, and he was winning all of them, right? And so we were like, because the last few rounds, 8, 9, 10, Josh knows those tracks, right? Okay. So we were like, easy, he's gonna win those, right? You know, and so it was so shocking to see things the wrong way around, right? Even a couple of the commentators were like, these are tracks Joshua knows, right? So we should be, you know, but I also wonder, do you think we put some, just by being around, were we putting some pressure on you?
Not as much. I was thinking of putting more pressure on myself. Just trying to win. But like if the tracks only better, I think if they were the first few rounds, it would have been the same outcome. So I would have driven better.
Right.
Okay.
So hey, but we also had, I mean, there was definitely nerves even in the camp, right? Because how was your mechanic feeling?
It was very nervous.
He was nervous. He was he went to the corner to almost throw up at some stage, right? So you know, I think there was nerves all around. You know, even mom was super nervous, right? You know, so
Okay. So all right, now let me ask you this. What are you going to next? Are you still staying in Minimax, or are you going to another division?
At the moment we're kind of debating whether to go to OK Juniors and do the European Championships next year, or do Junior Max, and do British Championship. So
that's it's one of those that we've got to make the decision in the next couple of weeks, right? To see which ones we go for, and really the decision is going to be based on how easily can we get him into a team, right? When we say a team, a big team, Mercedes, so forth, right? So that will be the biggest deciding factor for us.
So what's going to change for you if during this change, like what's going to, is the chassis going to have to change? What's going to change for you making that transition? And what are you looking to gain to make that transition is another question.
With the chassis, it depends on the class that we're doing. With Junior Max, it'll be the same chassis.
So you're using Tony Kart right now, right?
Yeah, Tony Kart, Esprit, they're all the same. They're basically just shaped. They're just painted differently.
Right.
Gotcha.
They're all in the OTK branch. So, but like OK Junior is a different chassis, and a very different engine as well. But with Junior Max, it's the same chassis. The engine is tweaked to be faster, and then the weight limit goes up as well.
Do you think we can do both?
We can.
Oh, you racing it too?
Yeah.
we can.
One in Europe and then British here.
Yeah, but it'll be like very, very different driving styles.
Really?
From one class to another. So yeah.
Okay. Do you think that's now? Of course, like we've always heard, like the best way to eat an elephant is one piece at a time. Do you feel right now confident in your ability? Now, when we talk about your ability, we're talking about your adaptive section to adapt track to track, league to league in order to still be competitive, or do you question yourself on that? Or is it even a challenge? Even if you question yourself, is it a challenge you're willing to stand up to? And remember, again, that's their risk reward, right? So you got, can you handle these two and still manage to be competitive to win in one or both? Or do you feel like if you did that, you probably might be taking away from one or the other?
That's a great question.
I think I'll be able to do both.
Yeah,
both classes, because I've been to tracks that I've never been to before. Like Clay Pigeon this year at Super One. I've never been there. Haven't practiced much on the sim there.
Okay.
And it's a very, very different driving style to Wilton, Mill, and Shennington and Rowra, which we've been to before. So I got there and it was immediately on the pace and racing the people that have been there multiple times, and I finished second on that weekend, my first time there. So against people fighting for the championship and like been there local and been there so many times.
Yeah, no, I think that was quite I enjoyed that, actually. The fact that one of Joshua's traits was put him on a new track and it doesn't take him long. It's like
he catches up. So Mike, did you ever find out about the record that we were talking about in comparison to, did they ever get back to you with that information?
They haven't yet. No.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll
all right, so cool.
pushing.
So we'll table that until later. I just wanted to see if so that you could bring it up. But I mean, if you want to bring it up, you can. I know you want to probably wait till it's official to put it out there, so we'll probably wait on that.
Yeah.
But definitely, if so, we'll come back and announce that any way you would like to, brother. Just let me know.
Okay, great.
All right, so Joshua, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I saw you get smoked. Oh, you get smoked with that Rubik's Cube, bro. Your brother's good with that Rubik's Cube, bro.
Yeah.
Nice.
How did you feel after that? Because we didn't post that, right? How did you feel after you got beaten by Caleb?
I was quite angry, I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, I seen it on his face. He was like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's that racer in it. Like, I don't care what it's in. If there's a first, second, and third, I'm not trying to have it. I tell you what, we're about to allow our Wolfpack members to come and ask you questions. Remember, members, all members aside from Mike and Joshua, keep your cameras off. And then we're going to raise your hand in the chat, and then we're going to go from that. All right. So right now we got Mary Beanie with her question. And remember, try to keep your questions no more than 2 parts, and then they'll answer so we can get everybody in. And of course, you can raise your hand again and we'll come back to you. But first one with the hand up is Mary, then France, and then I know we had Musa. And some of you with the Zoom user, if you could put a name on there, that way I can announce you when you come on. Mary, you got the mic. I'm gonna lower your hand.
Hi, Joshua. Just say congratulations on your championship. I've been following Lewis since day dot, and you remind me so much of Lewis when Lewis started. Congrats to your dad.
Oh,
I know you're going to get the haters, but just rise above it, son, because you've got the talent.
Thank
They
you.
ain't got no talent. I follow you on Twitter, and I'm telling you, you remind me so much of Lewis when he started.
oh,
So you keep with it.
Thank you.
Thanks
And
for the
congrats to your dad, because your dad is just like an Anthony too. I'm telling you, because I've followed Lewis since day one. I'm telling you, you've got a bright future, kid.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Like,
that's really kind.
I'll be following you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. And
Thanks,
actually,
Mary.
a good opportunity to almost shout out to his mom, actually, who's
Yes, Delina.
even more active than we see. She's the real engine behind a lot of this.
Oh, congrats to mummy then.
Yeah, she does more
absolutely.
track visits than you, doesn't she, Mike?
Absolutely, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I can see when I'm looking at Joshua and you, Mike, it just reminds me of Lewis and Anthony. Because I followed Lewis since like day dot.
Wow.
Since 2006.
Amazing.
All
Yeah.
right, we're
I'm
going.
I'm telling you, there's so much similarity between Joshua's karting career and Lewis's karting career.
Oh wow! So let's see if we can keep that. I mean, we'll take that and let's see if we can clean that path up as well, right?
Yeah.
So,
All right, we're gonna go to. We got next up. We got France. You got it, Lloyd. I'm gonna lower your hand. You can unmute yourself.
Good afternoon from the United States side. I just wanted to say I'm proud of you both. Just to start off with that, my first question will be is how hard is it, excuse me, how hard is it for you guys to find sponsorships in order to continue you guys' journey to that next level of Formula One? Thank you.
yeah, I'll take that one because it's quite an admin one. It's difficult, I have to say. There's a couple of reasons why. Firstly, there is no manual on how to do that that's shared. If there is one that exists, someone share it with us, please, because we haven't seen that yet, right? So so that's one challenge. Everything from how do you put together the highlight reel, the pitch deck. We've actually had one opportunity, someone who approached us, and we've been working for the last 4 weeks on trying to put something together there that we can put in front of a few people. So there's a real challenge there. Any advice on, like, firstly, who do we approach, and what's the story? What's the story we're selling to them, so that they can be involved in this journey? Any guidance on that? There's a lot that's just not shared. So that makes it quite difficult. So we're almost flying a little blind.
Okay, so all right. So with these going to these bigger teams, is that something they're looking for you to come with, or is that something you're looking to gain by going to them? Or is it kind of like sponsorships today? Like they already kind of want the car almost done before they sponsor the damn car. Like, is it working like that?
It feels like it, right?
Yeah.
It does feel like it, because all the people we know in the drivers programs, right? They've come in from one major aspect in that they've showed up with a huge amount of funding behind.
Got you.
And it isn't all sponsorship. A lot of it is, they've got daddies operating at a very different sphere to many of us, right? So we were talking to a fellow racer who races in Porsche GT at the moment, and his dad was just like, his dad is a multi-millionaire, but not the type of Lando Norris's dad, right? And so so he was like, the single-seater journey was just too expensive at some point, so they went the GT route, and he's a multi-millionaire. So it gives you an indication of what we're dealing with.
Put that into context. OD McNasty, I'm gonna lower your hand. You got the mic, bro. Let's see. OD McNasty, you can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, man, I seen the article. The interview on him last time, and I don't know if I missed it, if he had answered the question as far as the funding before setting up some kind of thing with some fundraising through the Wolfpack. I seen a note yesterday. Well, I mentioned yesterday about a guy was saying we should stop with the cider and all that. Okay, we shake on the podium. You shake champagne, so we ain't gonna mess with the champagne.
Right, we're not gonna mess with the champagne. Right.
So,
but what OD McNasty is exactly right. I'm gonna let you finish, bro. What we'll probably do is because I'm not sure if Mike and them have got that set up, but probably what we'll do before the end of the season, the next few lives, all proceeds from that live will go to Mike and Joshua to try to support them and help them with their. I'll give those proceeds to you all, and we'll donate them as a Wolfpack family to you, and we'll figure out how to transfer the funds to you. All right.
That's huge. Thank you so much.
No problem. Odie, my family members in here are real about it. Odie McNasty, you had anything else you want to add, my brother? Go ahead.
Yeah. I was dealing with Robert there. You know, I didn't want to step on him too hard. But like it was like you said, if we want to get behind something, that's the whole thing. Most of the people who are interested in it have funding. I don't want to fund someone who has already have funding. Like my man just said, he said it's a big industry behind pushing him, but all his goal should be 10,000 peak supporters at $25 a week or $25 a month. That's $250,000, player. Right. You know what I mean? Wow. That's where Joshua's support should come. You got to be ground fed. And me personally, I was super chatting every week towards that. So we need to set that up. And once we set that up, then he can start gaining his members, and then he can start clocking dollars. If he got 500 members, 300 members. But then that, like I have a company, I have a beauty company, and I have no problem pushing that across my website. I have no problem pushing that across.
All right, I will put Woody McNasty down.
That's beautiful to hear, guys. And you know, sessions like this, honestly, they really warm our hearts hearing the support that's out there, because it can be quite lonely, right? You know, because you're navigating in the dark. But we're scheduled to have a strategy session with you, aren't we, Jay, at some point?
Yes.
Right? We're I would say we're about 2.5, 3 weeks away from that.
Right.
At which point we should put something in the diary. But all of those ideas, like you've just shared, that's huge. That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. We got Zoom user. I think, Mary, I'm gonna come to you as soon as I get some people that haven't asked questions. So don't lower your hand. Keep your hand up. I think this is Musa. Odie McNasty, I'm gonna mute you for right now, and you got the mic. Musa, I think that's you. I just lowered your hand.
Thanks, bro. Thanks.
No problem.
Hi there, Ken and Josh again. Josh, once again, congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
And I can tell you right now, if you just keep focused and if this is truly what you want to do, you will get there. Just keep pushing, keep your head down. You will get there.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
My question that I have is for Daddy.
Okay.
So Ken, when Josh is going and karting on these races, do you is it up to you to supply his fuel and tires? And if that is so, how much are you spending on tires on a weekend, and how much tires are you using?
Yeah. So for the championship, what's good is that fuel is regulated. So there's one place in which we're all instructed we can get the fuel from, and we do buy that ourselves. And then also tires, we buy the tires for each race, right?
Yeah.
And the good thing is they're locked up and they're sealed, and then we can pull them out for the race and each race, right? Yeah. And it's just under 200 quid, I would say, for a set. Yeah.
Okay.
How many sets does he run? Does he run through a single set within a weekend?
Yeah, it's a single set for the weekend, right?
We'll use an old set for the practice.
Yeah.
We'll use an older set that we've used previously for races, and then we'll use brand new race tires.
But actually, that's interesting, because which racetrack we were at a racetrack, and we noticed that whenever we were not practicing on the new version of the tires, it felt like it was a brand new race the moment he got onto those tires, wasn't it? Right. Yeah. So those others had the advantage where whatever tire set there was, they always had the exact new set when they were practicing. So they knew how to negotiate that. Whereas Josh would practice with an old set and then get on those new tires. And the good thing is Josh he negotiates that pretty quickly. He works it out, but ideally we would have the exact same each time, right? For practice and for,
Okay. All right. That's something for us also to keep in mind, family members. All right, Musa, I'm going to go to Mikey S. You got the mic. I'm going to lower your hand. Go ahead.
Thank you, WPP. I've got a question for both father and son. I'd like to do the father one first.
All right.
It's all right. What's it like you know, having all that hopes and aspirations, and what does the pressure on you feel being a father, which makes it even more amplified to have your son be successful?
It's, you know, I'll tell you, for me, the journey of fatherhood is one of constant learning. It's like driving itself. It's constant calibration, right? You can't let go of the steering wheel and just put your foot on the gas. You always have to make sure you're in lane or change lanes when you need to. An obstacle will come in front of us in a particular lane, so we have to turn. There may be road work, so we have to get off the road, you know, and do things differently. It is a full-time job, and one that I'm so blessed to share with my wife, if I'm honest. I think on my own it would be difficult, so it's one that we can share. And our opposites in dealing with pressure become really useful at that stage, where when emotion is needed, she's there. When rationality is needed, I'm there, and even sometimes vice versa, right? So I would say it's a constant learning experience. It's one where we're always listening as well. We're listening to Joshua, and we're listening to him in every way that he speaks. So when he speaks verbally, when he speaks non-verbally, you know, our job is to listen and guide him in the path that keeps him motivated, keeps him happy. But it's his dream. That's the other thing as well. This has nothing to do. If Joshua turns around tomorrow and says, "I don't want to do this anymore," I will stop. It's very simple. I'm not going to push him into that. This is something that he wants to do, and that drives him. And you can see that. I'll be honest with you. Joshua wakes up on a Saturday morning. If there's no races, I can tell you exactly where he is and what he's watching. He's watching old karting races. He's watching old F1 races. He's looking at tracks. He's looking at breaking points, you know, and all that from when he was a kid. So, and he still does that today. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Real quick, the second half of my question is, have you ever had your son up to Scotland to Lark Hall karting?
Lark Hall. Did you get to Lark Hall? Was it on the calendar?
No, we haven't been to Lark Hall. I've raced it on the simulator, so
Yeah.
it's a really nice track.
Check it out. That's where Hamilton started off. So Lewis.
Yeah. I think we're due there. We might be there definitely next year. It wasn't on the calendar this year, but it was last year, and we missed it, didn't we? Lark Hall, wasn't it?
No, we haven't been to Lark Hall, and it hasn't been, and
it's not been
on the calendars.
Yeah.
But it's been on the calendars for the British Championship races.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully next year. Well, if we're doing British Championship, and not Europe, or even both, we'll probably be going down to Lark Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
A question for you, Joshua, is there's a technical side as well as a physical side to driving. What are you doing to fast track yourself to have, you know, that kind of mechanical knowledge? And are you getting any help, such as grants or anything like that, to actually fast track that, you know, to get you ahead of the curve with what you're driving?
How are you picking up on the mechanical?
Hold on, Joshua. I'm coming to you next. Behave, Dave. I got you. Go ahead, Joshua. You got it.
So with the mechanical side, like with the engine, sprocket, and stuff like that, I'll understand I'll understand around where the sprocket should be, and then if I feel like, oh, I'm not getting enough out of the corners, we'll adjust the sprocket to make it like that, and to make it so I get more out the corners, and then I can tell if it's better, if it feels worse. I'll feel if I've got enough turn in. So if I turn in, and then will it turn responsively, or how responsive I want it. I give all that feedback, and then change it, change the car and how I prefer it. But if like I'm in a race situation and I'm not really enjoying the setup, I'll just adapt, because I can't change it in that moment. So I'll change my driving style to suit the setup. So if I'm not getting enough turn in, maybe turn in earlier. If the brakes aren't as sharp as I want them, brake earlier. And so just adapt my driving style to get the setup to work as best as it can.
But most of the decisions on the setup, we talk with you, right? And you tell us, you know, how he wants it, whether you know, we should go up a sprocket, down a sprocket.
Yeah.
And this last race was difficult because did we sit there for 10 minutes just debating whether we should change the and did we change it? You told us
we did change it in the end.
Yeah. And Josh told us to change it. And that's one of the it's hard because we're sat there with the mechanic, we're sat there looking at the track, looking at the weather, looking at the other cars, and you know, seeing where he seems to be losing out. And we weren't sure, were we? You know,
it's because it was on that Friday we didn't have the new tires to practice with the different gearings. We were running on old tires which were very worn out and not working very well. So the setup that we tried on the Friday was completely different to what we ended up on on the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
So he's involved in those debates.
Right, that's good. He should be.
Yeah.
Dave, you got the mic. I'm gonna lower your hand.
Hello, everyone. How you doing? You all right?
Good, thank you.
Good. First of all, congratulations to Josh, and congratulations to the actual family, because as you've alluded to, it's a team effort from all parts there to get going. So well done. And your mom, who's not on the video. But my question kind of got stolen a little bit with the technical aspect of it, just, but I'll allude it onto something that you said earlier. So you mentioned in your last 3 races that you knew the tracks, but someone was coming back at you throughout the championship. How nervous from one, Josh, your side driving? I'm guessing you strong as an ox and fierce as anything, and you didn't really not that bothered. But for yourself, Dad, how much nerves were you showing throughout the last 3 races? And as a family, how did you cope with that?
I think you know what, that's one thing I will say we all need to learn how to deal with, right? Because whilst it's easy to say Josh had pressure, and Josh did have pressure because he was making silly mistakes, weren't you? So
making quite a few mistakes,
you know,
on the tracks that
you know,
and then that's just the pressure that I need to learn how to deal with. Because I haven't been in those situations before. It's my first few years in driving and being at the front with so much pressures. It's difficult to learn. And
so we all need to, because it's easy to say it's all Josh, but clearly we were putting pressure on him, right? So we've got to work out how do we. I'm glad we've experienced it, and I'm glad we've seen it, because now we know that we've got to find a way of coping with pressure. Right. That's what we've got to do.
Well, your biggest learnings in life, no matter what you're doing, is always from small or big failures. It's never usually from the triumph. So take it as a great learning experience, Josh, because it will only make you a better, stronger person in the future, no matter what part of life it is in. So hats off to you. Well done, and well done to all of you, especially your mom. It seems like
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate you. We're gonna go to France and then Mary. I got you coming up. All right. So France, I'm gonna lower your hand. You got the mic.
How you guys doing again? My question is to Josh. Do you ever think of racing in the USA when you finally conquer everything that you want in Europe? Do you ever have any ideas of what the competition may be here in the USA compared to the competition there in Europe? Thank you so much, man.
Nice.
I haven't watched too many videos or seen tracks in the USA, but I don't know the competition, so I would love to race in the USA. I'd love to see the tracks and the different types of cars as well.
Did you see, what did we watch? What was the program we watched about the guy in the US? Willie something. What was his name?
Willie T. Ribs.
Willie T. Ribs.
Yeah, on Netflix. So that really opened our eyes to racing in America, actually. So,
Right.
It's an area we need to explore more, isn't it? Yeah.
But there's also a lot of car races now. Like in Formula One, they got Miami this year. Next year, on the Formula One calendar, they've put Las Vegas.
Well, I better not see you in no casinos, Joshua. I better not see you in no casinos, bro. Ice cream parlors only.
Is Formula One getting more popular in America now?
It is indeed factual. I told
Yes,
people
most
there's probably
definitely.
going to be a fourth circuit here before 2024. Like, so right now we got Miami, Texas, and Las Vegas. I'm pretty sure there's going to be one north side. So that's usually typically how like US markets work. But yeah, definitely good question, Dave. I'm going to go to Mary. Mary wants to come up next. Lower your hand, Mary. You got the mic.
I see so much in Lewis and you. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's like, has Lewis messaged you at all?
Has he?
Pardon?
Has Lewis messaged you?
Yeah, he has messaged me. He sent me a voice message. I think was it last year? Last year. He sent me a voice message.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike. You got a story to share?
I've got to share a picture actually of Josh. He doesn't want me to share this, but there's when you see Josh, what did you come third or something? I can't remember, but he'd come third, and whenever Josh has had a bad race, you can tell, right? Because he comes into Parc Ferme, all the other drivers come out the carts, Josh sits in the cart, and he's just sat there, and I know the helmet doesn't come off, and I'm like, okay, just let him, meditate for a while, and that happened on this final race as well. On this final race, he came in, didn't take the helmet off, and I was like, oh.
Dario, I seen your hand up, bro. Go ahead, unmute your mic.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you, brother, man.
All right. Quick question as far as technical. Joshua, again, congratulations on winning, and also congratulations to your parents as well. My question to you is, what type of driver are you more aggressive? Are you more aggressive as far as I would say Max Verstappen, I should say, as a comparison, or are you more laid back, like I would look just like Lewis? And also, how do you like to set up your car? Is it more like oversteering or understeering when you're driving your go-kart?
Good question, Dario.
I like about the car. I like it understeer because then I'll just turn more and I can. I don't think I'll lose more time. I think I'll lose less time having a understeer car than an oversteer car than sliding on the exits, and that could put you in, if it's a really tight track, it could put you in a wall. It could like a curb could drag you on. So I think more understeer is better. But I think I'm more of a calculated driver. I'll like if I'm in a race situation where it's random grids and I'm starting in the back, I'll more go like catch the driver, make the move, catch the driver, make the move. But then once I get closer to the front closer to the front and with people that are faster than the people in the midfield and around the same space as me, I'll think, okay, I'll start over a few laps. I'll be looking at where I'm faster than them, where they're faster than me, and where are good opportunities to make the move. So
what do the commentators describe you as? Because I've heard them a bit. You're clean or
clean. The wet weather specialist.
Wet weather specialist.
Yeah.
Every time it rains, they're expecting Josh to win. And Josh is not. So on the track, you have different types of drivers. You said like Max Verstappen. So interestingly, where we race, there are stewards there that were there when Max was racing, and a lot of them say that he's quite intimidating in terms of the space he gives other people, right? To overtake. Josh isn't that sort of driver. Josh is, he sees a space, he'll take it, but it's clean. The whole thing is not about pushing people off the track or things like that. That's just not our ethos. It's not our values. And that seems to come through in his driving. It's just not what we do, right? So he's described as generally a clean driver. But there's one thing I will say about Josh, which I've seen based on his answer just now, is he says he's a thinking driver, and he absolutely is. Because when he's not, it's when he makes all those silly mistakes, right? When he's not thinking. Do you remember when we were at Wilton and we had to we pulled you aside and said, okay, tell us exactly where you're braking around that bottom corner.
I didn't know.
Yeah. He didn't know. And the moment we just said that, he was like, okay, I better think about it. And then you changed it, right? You mastered that corner, right?
Yeah.
Right. What was causing you not to take that information and what were you distracted by?
I don't know. I just think I just wasn't concentrating. I don't know why I wasn't concentrating. I don't know what I was thinking about, but whatever it was affecting my performance.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's a thinking driver, aren't you?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So France, I got you. Go ahead. I'm gonna lower your hand. Unmute your mic.
Hey, how you doing? This is for Mike B, and I wish his wife was around, like, just to ask her the same question. For you and a husband and wife pairing, what is the adversity of being a parent and a mother-father combination on the racetrack, you know, guiding your son and, you know, both your kids in getting to where they want to get to in life, as well as making sure that their journey is as successful as you would want it to be? Thank you, man.
Good job.
Oh, great question. So I think you said, what is our adversity? I'll play this back, see if I've understood this correctly, but perhaps it's what are the challenges we have in being parents of a racing driver and having 3 children?
Yes, sir.
Right? Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I'd say it's a massive challenge because I think, firstly, being a parent, forget the fact that they're racing or anything like that. I think being a parent is a challenge already, right? I don't know any book that can tell you exactly what you're supposed to do with your child. You sort of have to feel that out, I believe. And the fact that we've got 3, it's really important, I think, for us, and my wife and I are very intentional about this, to make sure that no child feels less loved. All right. And Joshua's sport is an expensive sport from both time and finances. His younger brother plays Rubik's Cube. That's not even the cost of brake fluid for Joshua, right? So it's and so you can see from a cost perspective, there's a massive difference. The last born plays football, right? So that it's very, very different. So we do have to consciously and intentionally balance that out and we try to build a system where we support each other. So Josh will support the other 2 when we're going Rubik's Cubing to a Rubik's Cube competition, which is, also time consuming, or we're going to watch the youngest player football tournament, right? And equally, so we all have those sort of systems of we are supporting a member of the family. And it seems to work for now, but there are times where they don't want to go to a racetrack because the racetracks are 7 hours away, and you're stuck in a van and a little awning, and it's cold. There's nowhere that the kids can play, and it's and so sometimes that's a bit difficult, but we push through, and our aim is to say, let's make an event about it for the family, and go swimming afterwards, and Josh has to pick himself up at the end to say, I'm now participating in a family thing, because they came here to support me, and I think you sort of know the system now, right? Yeah. Excellent.
So Joshua, let me ask you this question. Let me get in here and ask a question. What do you feel you need in order to take you to the next level next season? Because it's, this is over. Like, once you won it, you took that podium, you got your trophy. That's a wrap. Like, now it's the next season, and everybody who you didn't. Is that Delina?
Yeah, she's peeking through.
Yeah, people been asking about you on the camera. I see you back there in the mirror. You can't creep in on me. You can't creep in on me. What's going on?
That's Mom.
Hello, sorry, I'm just barging in.
No problem. So what do you think you're going to need to take yourself to the next level? Because you got to remember, now you are the hunted, right?
Yeah.
So the only thing in front of you that you can hunt is a better version of yourself, which is almost more challenging to motivate yourself for. So what do you think you're going to need mechanically and mentally to take you to the next level?
I think mechanically, I just need support. I guess with family. And then having a good relationship, I guess, with my mechanic, and knowing that we can talk together and we can understand each other well when we're talking about a car. So Yeah,
that's quite important, isn't it? Because if you give feedback and he doesn't agree, you've got to work out where you land on that, don't you?
Yeah. So yeah, we have to find out where the happy place is. So.
And then what do you think you need mentally for yourself? What are you going to be working on to prepare yourself? Because like I said, now you are the hunted instead of doing the hunting. So what are you going to be working on mentally for yourself?
I think I should be thinking of every race as the first few rounds. So putting no pressure on myself for the championships. I knowing that I'm going to be attacked, knowing that because I've won the championship, knowing that people are just all they want to do is beat me. So so I'll stay the same driver as I am, and just keep those people in mind, and know that I need to watch out for them, because they could be doing they might be doing dirt, they might be driving a bit more dirty and a bit more aggressive for me than they are for other people, just because I'm the main person that they want to beat.
Right.
But we also said, what did we say about excuses? Remember, because there was a time, remember, where you were a target and everyone was using you as a brake, instead of braking the car. Do you remember that?
Yeah, every time I was just straight on the corner.
And what did we do then to sort of address that? We build yourself up so that there's no more excuses, right? Yeah. And we said smarter driving. Do you remember? Yeah. So I think that's one of the things we're just going to have to keep that smarter driving, keep the no excuses. So they will come after us. We're ready. Yeah, they will. So we're ready.
So Mike, what are you anticipating from a parent standpoint, being back in this environment? We all, like, I'm not going to even sugarcoat. I'm not finna dance around this. We all know how different settings and environments can be when we as a certain group of people prevail and others may not like it. It leaves a bad taste for all the wrong reasons, right? So what do you think that you may have to prepare for, understand, or even navigate differently, right? Because it's one thing, like people like old saying is, nobody worried about that toy till you see somebody else come play with it. It's like nobody's worried about you until they see that you might be a threat to their own goals. What are you preparing for in these environments?
In a way, I think it's good we've already experienced some of that, not just with this championship. I can look back to the last race at the Rye House Championship last year in the Honda, right? And we were racing against a kid whose dad spent 300,000 on an engine, right? Shipped it in from where? I don't know. They flew it in from somewhere.
From Mars or somewhere.
And spent the whole weekend from Friday talking about what? Beating Joshua.
Whoa, bro, they spent 300 tickets just to talk about beat. Hey man, salute. That's an accomplishment. That's an accomplishment.
And so what happened during the race? I mean, that engine was fast. That engine was a beast, right? So what happened in the race?
So I started pole. I had the best set of heats. So I started pole. And I had a gap to second place by the end of the first few laps, and he got past that group, and was able to catch up to me, mainly just on the straights. So he got past me. I think we still had like 5 minutes left on the clock. So I just followed him, check what was looking at him every lap, looking where I'm stronger, where he's stronger. And I found out he's not very good through the corners. The engine is carrying him down the straight. And as I said earlier, having a good relationship with my mechanic, that he tells me every lap how many laps are left, how long we've got left on that clock, because we can't actually see it. So with 2 laps to go, he'd tell me get past him, and I knew exactly where I was going to get past him because I knew where I was faster. And so when I was right on his bumper, I went past him, and then on the last lap I was just defending, and then got the win. So
I mean, it was super impressive, because that engine was so fast, and Josh just worked out exactly where to overtake him, which corner, and you nailed it, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know, it just, yeah, you worked it out and you absolutely nailed it. And when we went to scrutineering, you should have seen the mood in the paddock, because they brought a team of about 30 people to celebrate beating Joshua.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. It didn't work.
We still can have a party, y'all.
Yeah.
So that was an important life lesson for us, because we had to say that they're gonna come after you, or a target.
Right.
They're gonna come after you, and it's going to be a thing. People will go out of their way to beat you, and will bring better equipment and better what. So you have to drive smarter. You have to. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got Mary. You got a question? Go ahead. I'm gonna lower your hand, and then I'll go ahead and close us out.
Right, thanks, Will. Let's have two parts. First part is tonight. Have you ever reached out to Anthony?
I have, actually, and thank you for that. He has promised to give me a call back. He sent us some congratulations, and he said, look, he wants to have a chat with us. So I don't know how much more I can remind him that he said he's going to have
Hold on, Mary. We got a question from Maria. She can't get on right now, so I'm going to ask her a question for her. So hold on. Maria says she's on a messed up device, but we don't want to not allow her to get in here. So she says, first of all, congratulations to Joshua and his family, and for his championship. And then she says, she goes on to say, secondly, I would like to know, when does the next season start, and when are we? And when I say we, I mean you might be going to set up a GoFundMe account or another crowdfunding account, which we can contribute to for his expenses. So Maria, I will answer that question for Mike, because that is something that we got into. So what we are going to do here at the Wolfpack Fam, I'm going to let everybody know the race and the live that we are going to have. So like all the time when we do this, when y'all do the super chats, the family does the super chats and the super stickers, we're going to take those proceeds. And when those proceeds come out, I'm going to gather them up, and I'm going to get with Mike and find out what's the best way for me to transfer those funds to him from the Wolfpack family. And all proceeds from that live or any other live that we do for Joshua will go directly to them. Like no shorts, no cuts. I'm going to tally all that up. I'm going to absorb the taxes, and I will make up the difference in the taxes with my own money to keep that money solid. And we'll send it to Mike and Joshua to support them on that.
Wow, that's so kind. So
we'll
generous.
Definitely do that.
Thank you.
And also, just to add, we are having this strategy day with you in a couple of weeks, and I think all of that will be part of this discussion, right? So
facts. So matter of fact, family members, y'all decide what race y'all wanted to be. Singapore, Japan. We still got Brazil coming up. Y'all decide in the member section. Let me know which race you want it to be. And not only that race, it'll be the quality kickback. So, we go live on Saturday for quality kickback. That's going to be for that. Then on Sunday, when we do finale lap, that's going to be for that. And like I said, I'm going to take all that money, double it up, boom, send it off. All right. We won't even miss out on taxes. Mike, you ain't paying taxes. I'm going to pay the taxes. We're going to send it to you. Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you so
much. That is no problem. So I want to say, man, Joshua, I am tremendously just like, oh, hold on. Dario got a question. Dario's going to be the last one. Unmute your mic, lower your hand, bro, and then I'll close this out.
All right. For the proceed, I was wanted to say that to Joshua. What's your favorite F1 track?
At the moment, I'd probably say Miami.
Miami. Okay. So for the next incoming track, for races or Formula One races, which one would you like? All right, this look like a cool track to race on. For the last remaining races.
You need a list of the tracks, Joshua?
Yeah, so we've got Singapore.
So hold on, I got you right here. So we got Singapore, Japan. We have Texas coming up. We got Mexico. We got Brazil, and then we got Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. I like Abu Dhabi quite a lot.
You like Abu Dhabi? So
yeah,
okay.
Especially the new like modifications, the new hairpins.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you like right now, I hate waiting. Like if I can get it, I'm gonna get it now. So we're going to do Abu Dhabi, and we will do Singapore the first race back. So we'll do two, and we'll take the proceeds from both of those, and we'll send them to you. So we'll do Singapore out the gate, because I like to get the hell out the gate. And then we'll do Abu Dhabi because it's your favorite. And both of those races and the proceeds will be dedicated to propel you forward. All right.
Well,
And-
we do every race for the rest of the season going to Joshua?
Oh, shit. Hey,
Yeah,
everybody in
because-
favor of that?
The kids got talent, man.
Well, let's do that. I tell you what, every race going, France said yes. Everybody else say yes, thumbs up.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I'll
God.
do it.
Everybody
talent.
else,
Wow.
okay. Everybody else has, everybody got, so I tell you what, we got Singapore, Japan, the United States, Mexico, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi are all dedicated to Joshua. I'm making note of it right now.
Goodness.
Thank you.
Wow.
Kids got
No
talent,
problem.
Bill.
Thank you.
No
Kids got
problem.
talent.
No
Oh,
problem.
see
So
for-
I'm
Thank you.
hold on. Let me see. Not Mike, unmute yourself. Mary, hold on. Let me get you real quick. So I'm gonna close this out right here. And I'm gonna say this first. I want to let everybody know I appreciate you all supporting, because it's one thing for Mike and them to take the time to show, because we're on a time difference. So for all of you to show up and like really show that support, I really do appreciate it. I hate for us to be talking to crickets in here, although I can just talk and me and Mike and Joshua figure it out. It's awesome for them to meet you all.
Yeah.
Next, I'm gonna say, Joshua, you definitely have the support. You definitely have the talent. You definitely have the family. You have all of that. Now it's going to be up on you to take all of those resources and all of those abilities that you have and the talent you have. And I always say hard work can outwork talent any day. So you got to pair
Yeah.
that hard work with your talent.
Yeah.
But we have no doubt that I have no doubt, and I'm pretty sure the family members don't have a doubt either, that you will be great. And we are definitely bless you, and we are definitely looking forward to that. So as you see right here, I'm never opposed to trying to do what we can to take part to like propel somebody. So every race from here on out, I will be keeping tabs on all of those super chats. And at the end of Abu Dhabi, we will come up with the total, and we will present that total to you at that last, probably after the last race, so I could total up from Abu Dhabi, and we'll let you know what it is. And then me and your dad will get on the back end and we'll get those funds to you. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
No problem. And Mike, man, bro, I really appreciate you, man.
Thank
Coming
you
here.
so much.
Anything
It
you
means
want to
so
say, closing out, let these people know what they could do, where they reach you, the Instagram, the Twitter, all of that. Look, y'all done made Mike choke up. He choked
Yeah,
up.
it's
That's how he
it's
cried.
huge,
That's how
man.
he
Thank
cried.
you so much.
What you got to say, man?
No, I just appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. Please continue to follow Josh on Instagram and on Twitter. Excuse me.
No problem.
Bit of a cough, guys. So sorry.
It's all right. So I'll tell you what, follow Joshua on Twitter, Instagram, and he also has a YouTube page, which when we start talking about when we have our session, I'm going to try to work with them on setting that YouTube page up to look a lot more appealing, a lot better, and ways to monetize that. So you all, it's no need to wait to follow that. Go ahead and do that now so that you're there when things change and you're part of the change. All right. And I want to thank everybody for another Wolves Den. We're going to see y'all soon. I'm about to end the recording, but Joshua and Mike, I will talk to you on the back end on the personal line. All right.
All right.
Brilliant.
All right.
Thank you.
Y'all all
Thank
be
you so
safe.
much.
Peace and love. Thanks for watching another episode of Wolfpack Performance. Don't forget to check out some of my other content on Formula One and motorsports topics. Like, share, subscribe, and we go live on the weekends. See you soon.